welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate all of your support. Do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. If you're subscribed, double check. Hype if you're on mobile. I can't stop smiling because, and I think I mentioned it last video, on a previous video said someone don't jinx it about the subscribers. And then the last video did, I'm actually at negative subscribers on that particular video. It's kind of funny. Anyway, I don't know about y'all, but I am pumped for a healthy Caitlin Clark season to start soon. It has been a long time. That being said, I'm also fully rested. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fight all the crap that we're going to fight this season. If you thought her rookie year was crazy, I think it's going to go to another level this year. And it's even worse within the Fever organization, right? I think it's worse with Amber Cox. It's worse with Kelly Crosskopf. It's way worse with Stephanie White. Every day when I think about this basketball team and Caitlin Clark, I desperately want Christy Sides back coaching this team 100%. It took her a while to get going, but even so, even Christy Sides at her worst in terms of what she wanted to do with Caitlin Clark, and yes, I know she stood in the corner at times and this and that, but it was far better than anything we are seeing with Stephanie White. And we've got another clip to talk about because this is something I was worried about going into this season, and I am afraid it is going to be a reality. And Stephanie White has lent credence to that being a reality in a short clip that I want to play. But before we do, because this is kind of this is relevant, and just to give you an idea of where the Fever fans are right now. Again, y'all know I'm not a big X guy. I use it to research and get a lot of content at a time, but I do post. I have about 1,400 followers. Typically, I might get 10, 20, 30 likes on a post, and some of them pop. This one, think what, a little over 2 hours, not quite 2.5 hours since I posted it, already 146 likes when I said Caitlin Clark has never been injured until Stephanie White and her people came to Indy. Now she's perfectly healthy, and White is using an irrelevant injury to limit Clark's progress. Almost 5,000 views already, 147 likes. It's funny, I see a lot of big accounts like Athlon Sports and stuff, and they'll post something and get 1, 2, 3 likes, and they have like 15,000 followers. I don't know if they're all bots or what, but anyway, so what the heck am I talking about? Well, part of it is this. Actually, let's take a listen to what Stephanie White says here, being asked about Caitlin Clark and her injury and what that means for this season.
Just to build her up so that she's ready to go, and we don't have any kind of questions about that.
What is the time period or the acclimation, if you will, not just for her, but also the teammates around, or although is it advantage because you have a lot of new faces, so it's new for everybody?
Yeah, I think it's new for everybody.
All right, before we get to that real quick, my mic muted right before I said that last thing, so I wanted to mute it here because sometimes I get feedback on it if I don't have my buds in, which I don't. So you might have missed the last thing I said. Now I can't even remember what I said. Oh yeah, I was just apologizing for it being very low, the volume. I have it cranked to 100, don't have my buds in. So, that's why I muted it because of feedback at times, and I will try and crank the volume in post as much as I can. Here we go again.
I think we got to be smart. She has worked her butt off this whole off season to prepare herself. We have an added advantage in that she played games in March, right, with USA Basketball, and so she has game exposure. She has game pace, she has game rhythm, she has game timing, and so we have an advantage. But we also want to be smart. She doesn't need every rep in practice. Like we want to continue to ramp her up. It's a long season, 44 games, and we play a heavy cadence of games in a week, and so we want to be smart in camp and make sure we I don't want to say ease her into it because she's ready for camp, but we want to make sure that we manage the reps and what kinds of reps she's getting just to build her up so that she's ready to go and we don't have any kind of questions about that.
The more I hear this woman speak, the more I loathe her. She is a snake. There is nothing good about Stephanie White. What is she talking about here? She's talking about load management for a perfectly healthy 23-year-old basketball player. A basketball player, by the way, that played every single game in college in 2024. All the max, right? All the way up to the final of the NCAA tournament, jumped right into a WNBA season in which she played all 42 games, even though she was targeted night in and night out from a physical standpoint. And she is fully healthy from an injury from last year, hadn't played since July, spent the offseason getting ready. Y'all saw USA Basketball. She didn't just play. She wasn't just back. She wasn't a rusty player, but hey, at least she's on the court. Despite, again, being used improperly for a lot of it, once the head coach left and went back to Duke, she still was MVP. And here we are now talking about ramping her up, bringing her along. It's a long season. We have 3 games a week. She's talking about load management. Stephanie White is going to use something that has nothing to do with the present as an excuse to limit Caitlin Clark on the court. So now, hey, we can get Raven Johnson out there, right? We can see and Stephanie White is hoping Raven excels to say, hey, well, she's playing so well, I got to keep giving her minutes while Caitlin Clark plays 20, 25 minutes in a game because we're bringing her along and it's a long season and we want to be safe. So we're going to make sure that we don't play her a lot, despite the fact that she is healthy, despite the fact that she is the best guard and arguably, yes, the best player in the WNBA. Stephanie White goes full speed ahead in keeping Caitlin Clark to just another WNBA player. But fans are powerful, folks. Our voices are powerful. We're not going to let this happen. Now, it's so hard to get a huge group, but this Indiana Fever organization who thinks they're Apple, who sends out a survey and their first question is to take this low-key shade at Caitlin Clark, they need to be humbled. They need a game at Cambridge where no one shows up. I'm sorry if people are like, oh, but I want it. That kind of stuff's going to happen and have to happen quickly because this is going in the wrong direction. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for checking this out. Appreciate it as always. Smash the like button, subscribe. You know the drill. Talk to you later.